What's up guys, this is Chris, and in this video I'm going to cover one of the hottest stocks in the market right now amongst the retail investors like the Reddit crowd or the institutional investors as well like Kathy Wood. We're going to be talking about Palantir, alright? PLTR stock has been making some big moves of late leading up to its big event here Wednesday, April 14th, and that is the double click event, showcasing the software in some various uses and hopefully raising awareness, getting more business, and potentially showing off some new features. So we're going to talk all about Palantir as far as business model, fundamentals, technical analysis, looking at the charts, and some price targets that I've come up with, all in about 10 minutes or less. So Palantir is approximately a $40 billion company. It's a software company that does big data analytics, meaning it takes a lot of data out there that corporations generate as well as government and puts it together, makes it actually usable and functional and integrated under one operating system. You can see that when it comes to their commercial side of their business, what they can do is put together data throughout the entire supply chain within your organization, and also from suppliers, warehouses, merchants that you're selling your products to. Everything is under one platform. So for example, if a company was thinking about how much inventory do we need to produce, or do we have excess inventory? Is demand going up? Are products selling through at this particular store or that particular store? Are there problems at the warehouse that we need to immediately address, or particular equipment at the warehouse that has issues, that is not operating as many hours as it should be? All of these things are automatically generated and the analytics are provided to that company so that they can take that data and then make their organization more efficient and better profitability, right, for that company. So this is a company that doesn't really monetize the data that they receive. It's not really like a Facebook, right? And I own Facebook stock myself, but this is something that's totally different in that they're not really taking people's data and selling it or using it to advertise with. They're just accumulating data, aggregating it into one platform, and then using their software to come up with actionable solutions for these companies. Now, as far as customers, right, as of last year, they had 139 different customers. And that might not seem like a lot, but each customer is doing contracts with them for, tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a piece. So that is a lot, and the spending with government, by the way, which is the biggest part of Palantir's business, is a really large sum of money. Their software operates across 40 industries around the world. Of the $1.1 billion in revenue that they produced in 2020, 56% came from customers in the government segment, 44% came from customers in the commercial segment, okay? And it's not just in the United States. Actually, it's a pretty diversified business, pretty global business. It's around a 50-50 split between US-based customers and international. So that is really great. They're actually in 150 different countries. What makes Palantir great is what I alluded to earlier, in that these operating systems are so vast and cover so much data that this is something that is not easy for other companies to emulate and build out. And to add on to that, with all the installation that's required at those facilities and with the equipment, and we're talking about highly skilled software engineers that you need to have on the talent team. You need to have support and maintenance as well to upkeep these systems for these clients. This is something that Palantir has as a competitive moat. They're showing no signs of slowing down. Over the past year, they've done around 50% growth. They've signed numerous deals with various partners in different industries, from mining to automobile. Over the next 5 years, Palantir is estimating themselves to grow at around 30% each year. If you do the math through to 2025, they're going to get to around $4 billion in revenue. With that $4 billion in revenue, that would be about $1.2 billion in net income. Even when it comes to profitability, this company is turning the corner. And in Q4 2020, they posted a pretty good adjusted operating income. Their margin is 32% on that. So if a company sells $100, they make $32 on the bottom line, which is pretty good. It's high margins. That's what makes software companies really great. Looking at a couple of different software companies, if you look at Salesforce, the price to sales ratio is about 10. So if they're doing 20 billion in sales, the company's valuation is about 200 billion. If you look at the PE ratio, it's also around a 50, 55. I think Palantir is worth more than that, because if you compare the growth rates, Palantir is going to be much higher, right? 30% continuous growth for the next 5 years, and probably even beyond that, it's going to be high 20s, I would imagine. So that is higher than what Salesforce is doing right now. So it should be trading higher of a valuation than Salesforce. Some people have compared Palantir to Snowflake, but in my personal opinion, Snowflake trading at 100 plus price to sales ratio is probably not a good value anyway. I think in the next 5 years, Snowflake's valuation would come down quite dramatically and, be more justified. So I think when it comes to Palantir, it's going to be higher than a price to sales of 10. It's probably going to be a 15, a 20, a 25 would be pretty reasonable if you compare it to other high growth tech stocks as well that have lasting power, like a Shopify or a TTD. I also think that Palantir can hit that 55, 60, 70, maybe even an 80 PE ratio by 2025. So if you take some of those numbers and you run the estimates, in my personal opinion, some price targets that are reasonable for Palantir in the next couple of years, if they execute well, you get a $60 to $70 price target, which would represent around 2.5 times the current stock price, which is a pretty good return if you're a long-term investor. I don't quite think that Palantir is going to be a 10x type of company in the next 5 years, like some people are predicting. However, if you do want to hold it long-term, think about 10 years from now, more revenue they're going to generate, the more income they're going to generate. And once you get to a certain point, that income is going to really snowball and you're going to see those PE ratios come down and then the stock price is going to go up. All right. And a lot of these companies do tend to beat their estimates as well. So you could be looking at 4.4 or maybe 4.2. We'll have to see. Balance sheet wise, this company is making a lot of progress. Their assets to liabilities is almost a 2-to-1 ratio. The cash balance on this company could wipe out all the debt that they have anyway. So it's a very healthy position. So when we look at Palantir from a technical analysis aspect, this stock is coming off of a really nice double bottom as far as the RSI levels, which is one of my favorite momentum indicators. Looks like it put in a bottom there. And also on the stock chart, you see here, it dropped to around the $20 stock price here actually. But the second low it made is actually a bit higher, which is a good sign, 2080. And it actually hit that twice. Okay. And then it had an increase in volume here once again, which is, again, a positive sign going into this, this bullish uptrend now. And I always like the double bottom, right? We see a lot of W's on a lot of growth charts, especially over the past couple of months. It is no surprise that this stock has gone down so much when you look at other stocks like an SE, for example, that I have here, one of my top stocks in my portfolio. You can see that a lot of stocks are trading in this sort of pattern, but they're starting to come back right here. And you can see here that in the past, in December and January, Palantir put in this base here of around 20 to 25 before rocketing higher. Now, that may be... God. Now, on a fundamental basis, that may have been premature for Palantir to reach that $45 stock price, but it could start to see its way back up there. All right, guys, now as I was watching the trading today and Palantir going up almost 10% on the day, there was so much call option buying in this stock that it was insane. Just looking at the $25 strike price call option expiring this Friday, 123,000 contracts have been traded, 40,000 contracts here. If you look at some, even the more obscure strike prices like 23.5, 22.5, they're in the tens of thousands. Just the buying becomes more and more accelerated, and this did not stop throughout the entire day. Even the last hour of trading, there were like thousands and thousands of contracts traded. So there are a lot of bullish bets being put here. And even before today, you can see in this article that there was a lot of unusual activity, above average call activity on Monday, as the number of contracts traded exceeded average by about 90,000. And just doing a quick browse at Wall Street Bets, you can see here that a poster by the name of Almost Exactly 3 did a Palantir $39,000 to $500,000 challenge YOLO, $54,000 in profit already today. Kudos, man. That is some ballsy bet. Pretty much putting all his money into Palantir. and so far it's paying off for him. So to sum it up, I personally don't own any shares, but I can totally see why so many people are enamored by this stock. When you look at the reach this company could have across various industries and to be a game changer, to empower so many businesses to use data in a way that we haven't seen before, is truly dramatic. And it does have that privacy feature built into it. It does have government support. It's diversified across various regions as well. So this is something that is very interesting. And with all this buying leading up to this event, I do think that this could continue to go higher. But let's put things into perspective a little bit and just temper a little bit by saying that I've seen in the past that events can be catalysts that make a stock go higher, but there are times where these stocks go up high going into an event, but then sell off when people don't really get what they wanted. Maybe there's not any new features that come out, there are not any new deals that are announced, expectations may be too high. Now this stock has already been beaten down pretty big, but it's still kind of an expensive stock in the short term. We'll have to see if there are really some super long-term investors and people that are willing to hold this stock and continue to buy more stock because they see the potential in the next 5, 10 plus years. We've seen other stocks have this potential in the past, like an Amazon, which had an inflated valuation for a long time, admittedly. You have the likes of Tesla and many other companies in the tech innovation space. And that is, of course, why it is in Cathie Wood's ARK Invest. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Are you invested in Palantir? What do you see its potential for the next couple of years? I'd love to hear your thoughts. And until next time, my friends, stay well and invest responsibly.